Innovate, Ignite, conversations that count. We're so glad that you could be here with us today. Today we have an incredible group of panelists, and we're going to be discussing the topic of living our best lives, which who doesn't want to know more about, right? So, the thing is, many of us have visions of a better tomorrow or a better future where we'll do things like exercise more, eat better, have a different career, or whatever it might be, have more money, whatever it might be. But is this truly living our best lives, or what does living our best lives mean? Well, that's what we're going to be discussing today. And our experts are going to be giving you some techniques and tips that are going to help you step into your potential and experience all that life has to offer, because they're going to tell you all the things that makes life, like our life can be so magical and rich. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we encourage you to join us for all of these beautiful featured events that you can find on the website, sacredyou.love. And there's a lot of them, so I won't mention them, but the next ones coming up will probably be linked down below in the Zoom link. And so now I'd just like to introduce our beautiful panelists. And we'll start with Joanne Irwin. Joanne works with ambitious women living in overwhelm or anxiety who have big dreams and want to achieve success through work-life balance, and they're burned out and continually struggling to achieve their ultimate outcomes. She's the creator of Empower You and Finding Your Time programs that teach women how to harness their manifestation power to master their life and live from a balanced, abundant, peaceful place, achieving all their desires, goals, and dreams with ease. Welcome, Joe. Thanks for being here. And we have Vanessa Ray. Vanessa is a healing and creative arts renaissance woman with a deep mission to serve the light that is the essence of all of us. As a confidence coach, teacher, bereavement doula, healer, speaker, intuitive, mystic, and sacred sound singer, she embraces what it is to be the dynamic, embodied woman. She helps women and girls liberate themselves by ending the battle, struggle, and torment with food, their bodies, and themselves. And she guides them on a deep, sacred, profound, and even pleasurable journey to their empowered embodiment and confidence and comfort, liberation and light, and beauty and peace with their bodies and in their lives. And we have Jan Ravenfeather. Jan is an ordained priestess of goddess divine feminine energy. She's a retired nurse, death doula, and Reiki master practitioner and teacher. She teaches goddess energy. She's a Diksha initiate, I think Diksha initiate. She's a workshop and puja facilitator. She does guiding meditations, healing meditations. She's an artisan, the creator of sacred tools and objects to aid you in your work. She's a facilitator of just like so many things, including Mother Earth, dance, goddess movements, healing, connection. She's a temple priestess, ceremonialist, ritualist, lots of different things. And she's also the host of the tribe Many Faces of the Goddess. And then we have Allison coming on. And is Allison coming on? Coming on. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and introduce Allison now. Allison is going to be coming on, and she is the host of our tribe that talks about human design. She's a down-to-earth woo-woo woman with a big heart and a delightful blend of seriousness and humor. And she's done a lot of her own healing work and deconditioning work, which is talked about in human design. She gets great pleasure in empowering women and creating a sacred space for deconditioning and authenticity, as well as educating women so that they know how to trust their own inner guidance and have the courage to take active steps because they know they are worthy. I'm Lisa, and I'm a visibility strategist, intuitive business consultant, and a copywriter for ambitious women, mainly solopreneurs, to help them feel expressed in their essence. And this is through their written and spoken content. like their messaging, their bios, program descriptions, etc., so that they can attract high quality leads and create next level visibility and success. So that is who we have here today. And I'm so excited to just dive into this. And so what I'm going to do is go around the room, the virtual room here, and I want to hear from each of you. What does living your best life mean to you? Jam, do you want to start? Because you're right next to me on Zoom.
Certainly. Well, it's like every question in the universe, the answer is, it depends. So my living my best life and somebody else's living their best life would be totally different. And it's quite funny, but not funny, because everything's not a coincidence. As I didn't know I was going to be a panelist this morning, but Goddess has been saying to me all week, or for the last few days, change your environment. And I didn't know this was happening. And this is exactly, she just said that to me again a few minutes ago. So I believe I need to talk about living your best life means changing your environment. So to me personally, as I live a life of service to Goddess, it's a different life for me. Actually, I've chosen the life that aligns with the path that she set out for me, so I'm in service to her. However, living my best life as a family, a grandmother, a mother, that type of thing at home is another living my best life. And my career, perhaps out, which is joined to Goddess, but outside of the realms of where my creativity that matches up with my path with Goddess is another living my best life. So there are many, many, it's like branches of the trees. Living our best lives are dependent on all of those environmental things that we have in our lives and how much energy we want to put in to each branch. So having said that, it's really a very, very open question. It means something much more different to me than to another person. So living my best life is living in attunement and connection to the divine feminine, so I can follow what she wants me to do in this world. That's living my best life. And that gives me bliss and joy. And I know I'm on the right track if I have bliss and joy. If I'm feeling out of sorts, I've gone off the track. So I hope that's a good answer.
I love that answer. And I think, you're saying for you, but I really truly believe that for all of us, if we tune in and listen to our inner guidance and take that highest path, it will lead us to more bliss and joy, to live our best life. And so if you're not tuned in and connected, you could be living what the ego thinks is your best life.
Yes.
Which comes with all kinds of different struggles. So I love what you say about living connected and in alignment, because that's how we receive our guidance to move towards the best path. So thank you for that. Awesome. Jo, let's hear from you.
Absolutely beautiful, Jan. I totally agree 100% with what you're speaking about there. And for me, living my best life is actually living my best health. Because without our health, like, we can't really fully live our best life, if that makes sense. So, and that gives you, and that comes back to that balance bit as well. So I started my journey with health, but then that put me on, gave me the energy and the creativity and the interest of, finding out more, getting excited about what else there is out there in life to be able to experience. And without your health and your energy, I believe that, you're not fully embracing those opportunities. So, but also having the freedom to express, and feeling from a balanced place, feeling that you could, move into a place of designing your life based on the energy that you have. Okay, so when you, as Jan was saying, when you're out of alignment, it's very difficult to even think, you know, what you want, where you're going, and who you want to become in that process. So having your, you know, focusing on health is a really powerful way to use your body to guide you into the areas that you want to explore and become, you know, I guess an expert in a sense, you know, and knowing what you want. Without health, without energy, without clarity, you're actually, you know, just really floating with life. So coming back into your body, using your body as a tool, as an instrument to guide you again through intuitive aligned action, so that you can then go and explore what it is you really, really want. Right. And really going out there and doing that really. Well, what do I want? Asking those questions. What do I really want? What do I want for me? What do I want for my life? What do I want for my family? And living in balance of that, living in alignment with your truth. Yeah. So yeah, optimum health is really key. And focusing on your body and being in alignment with that, you can be guided to and have the energy to explore what it is you truly want and how you want to live. So yeah,
I love that. You know, that's been kind of my journey lately too. I did a lot of spiritual healing and a lot of emotional healing, and I got the message, you know, several months ago. It's like, it's time to work on your vessel. It is time to clear this vessel so you can really embody the light that you're here to be. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of us are hearing that message. We've been hearing about embodiment, and I can't wait to talk to you, Vanessa, next, but we've been hearing about embodiment. And the message, because I teach embodiment, light embodiment, the message to me was, well, you got to clean yourself up. So that's the journey I've been on. And it does help you to really have that extra clarity on what you want and where you're going, and to receive the guidance, because when your body's cleared up, a clean vessel, you're able to receive more guidance. So thank you for that, Joe. I love your answer. Yeah. And so Vanessa, let's hear from you. It's a perfect segue.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, I love what you've said. And Lisa, what you just said about the embodiment piece, and Joe too, about like your health and your body. And that's a lot of my impetus for taking care of my body, and for a lot of the work that I do is really just so that I can better host the spirit. For me, it's not really about the body. It's about embodying my spirit, so that the body doesn't get in the way, really, of what I'm here to do and the light coming through. And I love, Jan, what you said. My happiness also is not separate from the divine. Like, my will and the divine will are one. And my job is to see and be as clear as I can, which is murkier different days and crankier different days and ecstatic different, you know, I mean, it's all the things that a human can be. But when I learned, and it was more recently, it was in like the last several years, started to get more, I wasn't raised religious, but I was always spiritual. And in the last 10 years, when I really got actually what I want, actually my highest joy, my heart's joy, my biggest gift would be to fulfill my potential. And I don't always see clearly what that is. I don't always know what that is. I F up all the time, you know? And so how can I embrace that, love that, forgive myself, smile at that, and continue to hear divine creation living through me? Because that's where I'm actually going to be the happiest. And there's things in my life that I could have sworn I wanted. Oh, this would be my best life. It would, you know, for me, for the first 20 years, it was like, I'm supposed to be Madonna when I grow up. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Thank God I'm not Madonna, you know? but I didn't know that. That's in my egoic free will. Like, that's what I wanted. And then I wanted this, and then I wanted that. And then I went, and so this idea of me thinking I always know, or that what I'm thinking is actually in my best interest, it's not. Sometimes when I'm really in alignment and I'm really clear, it is. And my job is to be clear and in alignment, to be focused, to take care of my body, to embody that beautiful, graceful power and love the best I can, which a lot of times means I'm not there and there's less me, and more truth coming through, so that I can know what to do next, and I can know what to say next, and I can know what inspiration to follow. One thing I do feel like adding, and it kind of popped in for me earlier today as I was thinking about the talk tonight, it's nighttime for me, obviously, is what I used to think of as my best life had a very distorted view. I think that there can be some misunderstanding that your best life looks like the cover of a magazine, or maybe that's just for me, but that like it means that you look perfect, act perfect, feel perfect, you're always happy, you're manifesting like this, and it's like, no, my best life is my life. And my life didn't get better until I said, I have my best body right now. I have my best, little trailer home right now. I have my best ADHD daughter right now who's probably making a mess in the living room. Like, it's like, this is the access into my best life is through the life I'm actually living now, and then my actual body and my actual challenges and my actual mistakes and all of the reality. And now from this place of not fantasizing, but being in here with me now, with all that I really have to deal with, and all the imperfect relationships, and all the, the parents that didn't love me for the way I was, and all of this, how can I open up inside of that and be the best version of myself? And my answer is to come into alignment with myself. How can I be what I think feels the best, is the most serving? And from that, my life has started to look more like, oh, that's so cool that I'm doing this, or that's so cool that I have this now, or that's so cool that I'm having this panel with you guys right now, and that I get to be here as a colleague and a new friend. But it's not because I went out and was like, this would be my best life, and it looks like this, and da-da-da-da-da from the outside. I lived it from the inside. And I hope that makes sense, because I used to really, there's all this, be your best self, be your best life, have your best body. And it's like, this is it. It starts right here. That's how I've been able to access it, at least, because I tried it the other way. I couldn't get to it.
Yeah, I love all that you're saying. And it is about letting go and surrendering to what it is. And it's the hardest thing for us, because we're taught to control things. We're taught to hold on. And especially right now, where we're going into the unknown, we don't know. We have no idea what our future is going to look like. And why live there anyway? Why live in the future when you have this present that creates your reality and crafts your best life from that gratitude point of view? So I love what you said. Thank you for that. Allison, I've already introduced you. So what we're doing is we're answering the question about, what does living your best life mean to you? So we've had some great discussion already, and I know that you're going to be a fantastic add. So let's hear from you.
Talk about putting me on the spot. Look, I think what Vanessa said is completely 100% true. We live in a world where it's all about fixing a problem when it's not a problem at all. We're a solution. right? And to live, like, I had that fantasy perception of where my life would be when I was 20 years old too. I was thinking, you know, I'm going to have 2.2 kids, and I'm going to live in a house, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. And none of it came true, and I hated every single minute of it the minute it did. I just went, I don't want this shit. And so I tapped out. And I went, this is not my best fucking life. Excuse my French as I get a bit passionate here, but it's just like, this is not my best life. I don't want it. I want another life. And so I had to look within myself and going, actually, what do I want? What do I want my life to look like? Instead of living this projected fantasy of what a perception of everyone else wanted from the outside, I had to sit there and get real with myself and go, what was on the inside? What the hell do I want from here? And I've spent the last 11 years doing that. Refuse to live in someone else's world now. It's mine.
Yeah, we get to have our life. We get to create what the best life means for us. And I think part of that is what you just said, is becoming aware that we have that choice, that we get to choose, that it's not what somebody else says it is. It's our truth. It's our life. It's what we get to create whatever we want, and we can create whatever we want. But it not from an ego point of view, right?
Not at all. Not at all. And it's just, I wish there was more people who would hear this message so much.
Yeah.
You know, we're moving away from that ego-based mind into a heart, emotional-based body. Like we're moving from our heart, from our mind to our bodies. All right. We need to decondition this bullshit that goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just saying.
Amen.
Hashtag just saying.
Okay. Some great discussions. You know what I would love is for the listeners to be able to have a tip or a technique. And I know all of you lovely panelists have something in your toolkit. So let's just, who'd like to share one of their favorite tips or techniques for helping people that are listening to live their best life?
Can I just continue on?
Yes. Okay, sure.
The biggest question that I get asked often is, how do I stay grounded? A lot of people, even myself included, like to spend time out there, right? It's safe because we're in our own little world, in our heads, somewhere out in the planets, right? But we don't stay grounded enough in our bodies to understand what's going on in the now moment. And the only way to do that is to ground your energy and like anchor it into the earth. So my tip is like getting grounded every day. Go for a walk, get barefoot, you know, go swim in the ocean, go somewhere where you're not inside your house and you're not in a vehicle or in some sort of closed in space. Get out and experience just even sitting in your garden, sitting on your back deck with the wind blowing past. Like, be grounded in that now moment of what it looks like. That would be my tip.
I think that's so important, because it is fun to fly around all up in here, wherever you go, you know, but that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for. And we can only work through our bodies. So Vanessa, yes, let's hear from you.
So I was eager to share because this funny thing just has popped up for me this week. And there's been several moments where I'm kind of at the other extreme and I'm having this moment of like, this is ridiculous. I hate this, you know, moment or this day or this, like, I get in this little fit. And by the way, that doesn't mean I'm not living my best life just because I have a moment like that, you know? And what I started doing, and it really has shifted. So I have an Australian Shepherd puppy and I'm not a dog person. I like some dogs. I got the dog for my daughter who loves animals. And there are so many challenges I have with being a dog mom and a puppy mom. And sometimes I'm totally into it, and other times it is not my best life. That's all I have to say. So I was out in the backyard, and I noticed this happens to me when I'm in my ego. I'm like, I have so many things to do. I have like this list of like, I'm so important kind of feeling of like, doesn't this dog know to just poop, you know? And I'm having this moment of like, this is such an inconvenience. And like, I'm getting angry, and I'm normally not a super angry person, but this dog is showing me that I do have some, like, obviously I do, because I was like, I was really, really angry. And like that the dog is waiting so long, that the dog is getting its leash tangled. And it was one of those, like, this is so not my best life. And for me, I watch, oh, it leads into like, I don't really like my house. I don't really like, why don't I have more of it? And it's this spiral that starts to be like, it's the dog and the this and the, and I was like, if I just, and this is so simple, I know everyone has heard this, but I decided to mix my gratitude practice while I'm picking dog poop up, and while I'm waiting for the dog to go, and while I'm looking at the back of my house, which needs repairs, and I don't have the money. Like, I started literally standing out there, and these mornings where I used to be in the drama of not my best life have turned into, they're just neutralized, because I'm like, you know, I am enjoying actually breathing the fresh air. So there's that. And actually my dog is really cute and really good and really sweet. And like, and all of a sudden it's like, good job, take your time. Yeah, poop whenever, like, it's all of a sudden the energy is really shifted. And this whole scene, this whole drama that I created of poor me, Vanessa's nothing's freaking working because the dog's not pooping. This whole little scene I created that shows I'm not living my best life is now turned into, everything's actually just fine. This is my best. I love this dog. This dog's great. You know, like, but it's this, sometimes it's that willingness to mix. Am I willing to not be upset right now? Am I willing to not be kind of a bitch in this moment? Am I willing to not act inconvenienced? And most of the time I am. And it really shifts those moments that are like maybe the least favorite moments of my day into like, no, this is my best life. Yeah, this is my best life. Just waiting for my dog, kind of inconvenienced, you know. So anyway, that's what came up to me for me today, because that's literally what I'm working on this week.
And I think that's such an important message, because those little moments in our life are what makes up our life. And I used to do the same thing when I was rushing around, going to work and commuting and everything. I'd go out of my, my front door and all these beautiful flowers. I'm like, oh, it would be so nice to stop and smell the rose. And oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. And oh, look at the bird. And I'd get in my car and drive away. And after a while, I think, why don't I just take 10 seconds and go over and smell the rose, or 10 seconds to listen to the bird? And when I started doing that, it was like, it adds so much richness to your life. And I love the gratitude practice with that, because it does shift your energy. And that's so important. So important. So thank you for that.
Richness is the right word. That's a really good word. That's what these moments have turned into, is like full of presence, you know?
Yes. And we can wish away our life by wishing things were different and wishing things, or we could be present with it and just be with it, because it is what it is. It is. So, okay. And we have some people, that are listening or watching right now, and I'd like to invite all of you watching, if you have a question, just place it into the comment, and then we'll get it put over into our chat, and we'll have our lovely panelists answer it. So let us know if you have any questions about this topic. Such great discussions already. And Janine says it's a choice we make. It's totally a choice we make. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So Joe, would you like to, let's hear from you. Oh, can you unmute yourself?
Sorry, I thought I did. I love both those pieces. The grounding is so, so important in getting out and, really taking your shoes off and getting into the earth. And then the gratitude. I'm very big on a morning routine and setting up my day for how I want it to be. And the other piece, like the gratitude and being gratitude puts everything in perspective, but also the acceptance piece that I'm feeling the theme of here. We need to accept straight up where we're at and acknowledge where we're at, because it's all part of the journey and the process, and accepting those parts of us that aren't perfect and probably never will be, but that's okay. It's about doing what we need to do for us. And in that routine that I practice and teach is the piece of seeing yourself there. Like seeing yourself the way you want us to be, the way you want to feel, and in the feeling piece as if it's already happened. So visualizing that each morning as you wake, and big on vision boards, making a collage and having that, front and center every morning when you wake up, so that you can go, yeah, that's where I'm going. Because when we think, the things we think create the feelings. So it's invoking those feelings of where you're heading and letting it, compel you towards what you want and how you want to live, is a really, I feel, an important piece. And because we're all emotional beings, and we're going to feel the things, and being aware of the things that we're feeling, we can then turn that to, well, how do we really want to feel, and look at the vision that we've created for what we want. And let that drive you towards becoming that version of how you want to live your life. Is just part of the puzzle, part of that morning piece in my meditation, or however it is, in that stillness practice. Some people, meditation is just too hard, but being still in that moment, smelling the roses, hearing the birds, waking up to that, because I think it's something like the first 17 seconds of waking is very impressionable on how your day is going to be. So wake up, seeing something in front of you is like, oh yeah, it's a reminder, but it's also going to drive you to where you want to be, and how you want to, how you want to be and what you want to create in the world. All right. So that's my little addition there.
I love that. Yeah. And accept it and acknowledge where we are is like, that's it, right? That's what we have to work with.
Yeah.
We don't have the past. We don't have the future. We have right now where we are, and we can shift our energy and our emotions at any time. And I love all these different techniques of doing that. So thank you. Thank you, Jo. Yeah. Jan.
Yes. Hello. What fantastic answers. I just loved what you said, Vanessa and Jo and Allison, every single one of you. I'd just like to add a few things that have come into my mind while we were all talking, and especially, Vanessa, when you were talking about, you actually changed your mind when you were thinking about, the dog causing chaos and not pooping when it should do and all that kind of stuff. Well, we all get caught up in our daily chaoses and stuff, but it's really important to be real about it. We're light workers, but we don't walk around with halos around our heads and walk on water. We are human beings. So we have to live in a world of chaos. So our chaos can be changed at any moment just by changing our mind, changing our environment just by changing our mind, and bringing in that gratitude of just changing how you're thinking and thinking, wow, I'm outside breathing the fresh air. Look at this gorgeous puppy, and they are so intelligent, those dogs, they're gorgeous. So changing our environment by changing our mind is something basic but very profound. So we can get caught up in the chaos and get caught up in our human experience, that we don't see the roses. But even if we don't have time to get out of the car and smell the roses, it doesn't mean that we can't appreciate the roses and the beauty as we go about our busy lives. I do know that what's happening in the world now is very chaotic, and it's very much Kali energy. And we are being asked to step up into our roles because of things that are going to happen in the future. We are going to be needed more than ever. But that's not to say it's a scary thing either. The Kali energy is all about pulling things down, but that has to happen before things can be built back up. She destroys before she can create. So things have to topple and change, and we are the ones who are asked to step up and change our inner selves to share our light, our outer selves, and share our light with others, so people can come to us when needed, for when they need healing, so they can actually step up into their own better selves as well. And I also wanted to talk about perfection, because we do have this in our worlds, in our better life, our fantasies of perfection, because it's all on the TVs, and everyone who wakes up in the morning has a full face of makeup and their hair is perfect, and everything's wonderful. So living our best life is actually created for us in the media of this is how it should be. I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 30, drive a Ferrari, have this, have that is our best life, but it's actually it's an untruth. So our perfection, our thoughts about perfection need to change. There's young women out there now that talk about ugly crying, and that's so sad, because if you're going to cry, why do you have to cry pretty? And stifling our emotions, we've got to fit in with some kind of picture that the world wants us to see, but we can't do that. We have to get into our alignment and grasp the chaos and be vulnerable and surrender. That went a bit on a tangent then, but going back to the original question was what do? I just stop. And Allison, very similar to what you said about grounding, I just stop and listen, not do anything, just stop and listen. And very, very often, because we have stopped, we hear the voice of Goddess, we hear the voice of whatever you would like to call spirit, universe, God, doesn't really matter. But we hear our higher self and our inner self speaking to us, and that's where the truth is, and that's where we always go back to that refuge of love within us that will guide us if we just stop.
So true. So true. I love all of what you've said. And Allison had mentioned that we are the authors of our own chaos. And when you stop, that swirling energy stops. You can pick it back up again if you want, but you can choose not to. You can choose to just stop and listen. I love that. It's beautiful. So we have ground in the presence, gratitude, even in times when you're angry, especially in times when you're irritated or angry or things aren't going the way you want. Changing your, accepting and acknowledging where we are and seeing it, from Joe. I love that. And then also stop and listen. So these are just some great, very simple tips, very doable tips that anybody listening can take with them. And I think they're so important. So we have about 15 minutes left. And what I'd like to do is have each of you give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about maybe an offer or what you do or where people can find you, any of that. And then we're also going to have you put all of your information into the chat so that we can put that into the replay. So who would like to start? Who would like to go first? Who'd like to share an offer, Oh, we did start 10 minutes late. That's right. Okay, so we've got more time, but let's just do this now since we're on it. So Vanessa, go for it.
Well, I'd like to go because I wanted to add one more thing. I think the last piece that, or at least the last piece from me regarding what might be a tip, and it's what I feel is so important with the topic, is that we're not objectifying it and approaching it so much from the outside the outside, so that people know their best life is this sometimes ordinary life. Their best life is this sometimes mundane life, their best life, so that it doesn't feel, and I know what this has been mentioned, like some of the advertising, like, oh, your best life means you're on the beach and then you go out to a fancy dinner and then, but you look totally different and and then it's like, so that it really just is a little more like, because I think that just keeps us away from living our lives and living our lives powerfully and living our lives in a way that the world needs us to, and the divine needs us to. So maybe my last tip, sorry, that wasn't very clear, but the last tip would be when people are thinking about their life or what's going on in the moment, like, am I approaching this from this conditioned, objectifying, outside in thing that always almost like nothing's good enough? You know, I've been on the beach before and been miserable when it was supposed to be like, but this was my best life. Why am I not happy now? You know, so that people really just ask, like, am I even approaching this from a true place? Or is this from a totally conditioned, unrealistic place? You know, not that you can't have the thing or the beach vacation or the whatever. So I guess that, hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, I think, oh, go ahead.
No, please.
Go ahead.
No,
well,
no,
I was just
please.
going to say, I think that's super. I think that is super helpful because we are here to experience all of it. We're here to experience all of it. The things we call good, the things we call bad, the things we call ordinary, all of it. And I remember when I used to get sick and I would like spin out of control because, oh my gosh, I can't be my normal self. I can't do the normal things. And you know, and I've learned to just, it's a process. It's your body upgrading. It's you know, I know what it is now and that helps, but I would spin so out of control because I wasn't the person I identified with. And so letting go of those identities, right?
Yeah, because otherwise it's not, it feels like it's not attainable to people. And of course it is. It's what you were born here to have. It's who you are, you know, that's what I think anyway. And so we don't shame ourselves, you know, like my car's older than my neighbor's car. I'm not living my best life. It's like, what? I'm not living my best life. I just had another breakup. I'm not living my best life. But it's like, it's what we're thinking our best life is. That is, I think, needs the double check. Mm-hmm. Like, did I buy into the lie? Did I buy into the trick? You know, so I guess that's what I wanted to get to, is that we're not shaming and actually keeping our real best life, the divine best life, from us by thinking my old car is not good enough, or my old car, you know, whatever. So I will share a quick offer in what I'm doing, and I'd like to try to tie it into what we're talking about. And so I work, my main offer, that what I'm doing right now, is working with women and girls to help them feel really great in their bodies. And it's interesting because sometimes I literally say in my marketing, your best body, but I don't mean someone else's body. I mean your body that you inhabit and that you embody and that you feel great in. And that doesn't mean you can't become stronger or lose weight if going about it in the right way, that's the natural thing that happens for you. So what I do is really work for the divine feminine, with the divine feminine, on the mindset, the emotions, the body, so that, like, women that are struggling with control issues with food, saying nasty things to the mirror, thinking they're not living their best life because of that 10 pounds or that 100 pounds or that that bullshit goes away, that they can step into every single cell of their body. And you can still say, as a human, I prefer to be lighter. I prefer to whatever. I dye my hair. Like, it's okay, but that nothing means you're not living your best life. And so it's a love process. It's a process of falling in love with yourself, falling in love with your body, and just really changing your relationship with food in your body so that you don't feel anymore like you're not living your best life because you're not in your right body or your best body. So that all that body shaming and body blaming is gone, so that you can just kind of move forward living. So I call it spiritual weight loss, food freedom, and real confidence, because it's coming from a real place, which is divine love. And I'll put a free gift in the chat if that's appropriate.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That sounds like a beautiful offer. So thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who would like to share next? Joe?
Unmute. I just wanted, something came to me when Vanessa was speaking, and just a little bit to add on to what we've been talking about, is that I think realizing that life happens for us, not to us. Like the experiences that we experience, and I think you touched on it a bit, Lisa, in as far as, when you're spinning out of control, like it's your body, or it's your body telling you that something needs to shift. So it's like your indicator. So experiences are given to us to learn, grow, and evolve. And until we learn, we don't evolve and we don't grow. So I think noticing when things are happening in our life, it's just an indicator that, okay, maybe I need to change something, do something differently. So yeah, knowing that life happens, for us, not to us, because we can go down that path of doom and gloom, and it's all, why me? But when we realize, okay, well, what have I got to learn from this? You can change it in a heartbeat. And it's often about the language that you use, and that's a whole other thing. However, I am, my offer is is my Empower You program. I work one-on-one with women over 12 weeks to, shift their perception. I do NLP and hypnosis as well as part of my process. But yeah, I have a tool bag of tools that I've learned the last 38 years that I share. And the other part is the group program, which is a beautiful 8-week Finding You time, where we go on a journey together of discovering all the tools that we talked about and lots of different things that we can do in our daily lives to become more at peace with ourselves, and that piece of self-love that Vanessa's talking about, finding that love within. And that's a beautiful program as well. So offering also an opportunity to connect and have a free session with me, just to explore, maybe something that you want to work with and live your best life, and to be able to move towards that. So yeah, I'll pop the link in as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Sounds like some really great programs. So yes, please put your information in, and people can take a look at all of these really, really good offers to help us live our best life. So let's see, Allison or Jan, would you like to share? Okay, Jan.
Yes, thank you. Excuse me. I think it's important that before I tell you what my offer is, that we actually look at chaos in a different way, look at negativity in a different way. Often those things that happen to us, what we perceive as chaos in our world going off tracks, is actually something we need to embrace and to ask what it's actually teaching us, rather than seeing it as something that needs to be pushed away from us and is toxic to us. So I'm a firm believer of embracing the chaos and embracing the fear, because fear is just a word. Fear is something that we've concocted in our minds and been conditioned to as a negative thing, but it's actually part of our emotions, and our emotions are very valid. So I just encourage everyone to actually embrace that chaos and sit still with it and ask the question, instead of why is this happening to me, is what is this is teaching me. I think that's very important, because I've been around a lot of people who, if you start to talk about what is perceived as negative stuff and bad emotions, it's like, oh no, get away from me, Satan. So I just wanted to put that in there. It's very important for us to embrace every part of ourselves and what happens to us, whether it's perceived negative or not, because that's our best teacher. And I would like to offer a free Goddess Oracle reading card to anyone who would like it, and answering that question to the divine, asking that question to the divine, am I living my best life, and what do I need to do to get back on track? Just as a guidance, just as a going back onto the path, or yes, you're already on the path. That would be my offering. Absolutely, you can, Vanessa. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds like just a great, simple, perfect little tidbit. So thank you, Jen, for that. And I love what you had to say about the chaos and looking at it differently, because everything here is to teach us to become, to what I say, live on our highest timeline. And if we push things away, they're just gonna come back until we look at them. So thank you for bringing that up. Allison.
Yes, like I said, I didn't realize my microphone was off, but I'm like, pretty much. The butterfly effect is what I call that, is where chaos is here and chaos is over here, and they meet unintentionally. And it's like, holy crap, I created that. So, and it's all part of that quantum physics too. Like, chaos is a mix of everything, not just one particular outcome or one particular problem. It's an array of things. It's very multidimensional. So the free offer that I have for everyone today is, on Monday, on the new moon, I am hosting a chakra masterclass where I am going to go through and work out, or teach you an exercise where you can connect and awaken your chakras. As you are aware, each chakra corresponds to a mood, an emotion, an ailment, and even your intuitive abilities. So if you feel that you have a blocked chakra, I would invite you to come to this masterclass, because you will find it, and then I can support you around how to clear that. And I'm going to take you through one chakra clearing. So we've got 7 of them, and I'm going to take the whole entire group through one chakra clearing. So depending on
fantastic.
Yes, exciting.
Yeah. Great. So that link will be.
Yes, I will put the link there down.
Okay, perfect. And then Grace, who's listening, says, lots of great points have been made here. Thank you for your insight, everyone. So thank you, panelists, for that. And I'll just ask if anybody has any last remarks to wrap this up. I think we've had a great discussion. This has been amazing. I think lots of really practical tips for people that are listening. So anything else before we conclude? Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. And yes, all of the information is going to be in the replay down below. And we just, listeners, we encourage you to put all these tips into action and really think about it. Watch this replay over and over again, because they may be simple, but it's always good to hear it more than once, because you're at a different level each time you hear it, right? So Yeah, I think this is great. Thank you so much for all the panelists. It's been great to meet you and hear from you and know you better and all of that stuff. So I think with that, we'll say bye.
Well, Lisa, if I can just quickly,
Oh,
first
yes.
of all, may I thank you for
Yes.
facilitating this. And of course, if you've got anything that you would like to offer, please let us know. We will be putting everyone's links in, and Janine's gone. I was just going to say goodbye to Janine too. We have put everyone's links in the comments below, and with great appreciation for our beautiful VAs, Angel and Wilma, who have been doing that while we've been live. And of course, for anyone who is watching us, Lisa, our beautiful facilitator, is the host of the Rise Up, Embody Your Infinite Light Tribe, and the co-host of Finding Me Again. Finding me. Jan is the host, as we said, of the Many Faces of the Goddess, and Allison is the host of Aligned by Design, Human Design. And the reason why I'm saying that is you can come and join us just for $1 Australian, and you get to try out not just Lisa's tribe and Jan's tribe and Allison's tribe, but all our tribes. We've got about 30 odd different tribes, just for $1 Australian for 3 weeks, and then after that it's just 15 Australian dollars a month. And you get to come to all our panel discussions too, and be on them as part of a guest, as a speaker, or in the audience, and wonderful. So do come do that. All the links are in below. And again, I'd like to thank Jan and Joe and Vanessa and Allison and Lisa and Janine, who joined us, and Sue, who joined us in the panel discussion for it. And tomorrow, very quickly, we have one coming up tomorrow, is very quickly, the controversy between affirmations and mantras. Are they aiding you or holding back your success? That is tomorrow. And Lisa will be back next week with Leading in the Age of Aquarius. So thank you everyone again, and have a beautiful time.